What's going on, man? Welcome back.
What's up? What's up? What's up? How y'all doing?
How you doing yeah, we good, man. Man, we got some questions for you, man. We went over, we looked at the interview, and there was something that we didn't touch on, and we kind of skipped over, and I don't know how that happened,
I,
but
I know I had a lot of information though, because it goes over years. So I know
yeah,
y'all was trying to speed me up. I was trying to get in the information as much as I could. So that was kind of like on my end personally.
yeah, okay,
It
yeah,
was a
it's
lot.
all good.
On top
Yeah.
of when it's a system where it's people waiting in the queue, you want to give everybody the opportunity to tell their story, but you also want to be fair to the people that's waiting to come up next, because
Yes.
it's important. It's everybody's stories is equally important. We want to hear them all.
And you did get your story across pretty good, and so that wasn't the issue. It was just one particular incident that we wanted to touch on.
Yes.
Because we didn't deep dive, and this live is a little bit different because it's just tailored to the stuff we missed with you, but
Yeah.
we didn't really deep dive into that situation of how what happened with the shooting incident where you got your son, and we was kind of confused on how that happened, like how you got him. So if you could just kind of, for the people that didn't ever see the first interview, go watch it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, go watch it. But yeah, just kind of get us at that point where
I'll
how that
pick.
happened.
I'll pick up where there's a part where I did touch on it, but then we kind of went over it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it was where I talked about I was praying for God was telling me to pray for them and the children at the house. I went over there. All that stuff happened. So when the shooting happened, my dad came over, woke me up, and was like, "Hey, there was a shooting happened at my son's mom's house." And so I was like, "Oh, okay." Got myself ready. He's like, "Why are you so calm?" I was like, "Well, I prayed, so I know we good." So we got in the car. We drove over there, and she wasn't there. It was paramedics there still, or CSI or whatever. People was getting forensics and stuff. They were getting all that stuff. So I heard word that my son was down the street with his uncle. So I went over to his uncle's house, and he was like, "Hey, he ain't talked to nobody. He's probably not gonna do anything." But as soon as he heard my voice, he just walked out with his backpack on and walked in the car with me. And he was shocked. He was like, I didn't think he would do that. But my son was around me enough to know, our relationship was tight. So he felt comfortable enough. As soon as he heard my voice, he didn't say nothing. He just walked right to the car,
So
got
was
in.
he there in the house when it took place?
Yeah, he was there. Cause when he was there, because when we got in the car, um, I asked him about it. He told me the story. My dad was there. Then when my mom came up to the city, he told the same story again. And so I went off of his because when the person got caught, he matched up to the description enough to what my son described. And I was like, okay, so my son's story was pretty accurate.
So did anybody get hurt?
The mom got shot once in the ankle,
What?
and
Okay, so kind of just tell us the whole how this
story.
happened.
Okay,
Like what
okay,
it
Yeah.
was
so
about, how it
Whoa.
happened, why your son was in a house, other kids, a house that's getting shot up.
Yeah, that's
okay, so
crazy.
during this time, we were going off and on with my son because I came back, spent a lot of time. She was going off and on. So during this weekend, he was with her. For whatever reason, he was with me, but she just wanted him back that weekend. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever, he can go. I was in school at the time too, so I was taking that very serious to educate myself because I used to stutter. So I was like, fine, that's fine. So when he went over there, my dad, like I said, pulled over, and I found out. So when I got the story, she was up late waiting on her on and off boyfriend to come into the city with someone else that they was moving around different states with, and they was like hanging out with this guy. And I think previously, weeks before, he came to Nebraska and got like shot in the butt, and so it was already issues with this guy. So the night the dude came, with her on and off boyfriend, they got in the house. From what she told is a different story what I was told from my own son's mouth. So I don't know how y'all want me to break the two stories down because he was
The
up.
best way you can.
Right, just
Okay.
combine it for what you think the truth, is from both stories.
Well, my truth is for my son before it came out in the article was that, okay, so when they got there about 2 a.m. in the morning, they left and went somewhere to where my son came out to use the restroom and he saw his cousin or a family member on the couch. And he was like, hey, can I hang out with you? You know, I want to be a big kid. He's the oldest of all these little kids in this room. There's 5 other kids in the
How old
back.
was he at the time?
I want to say he was, I think 8.
Okay.
He
your
was about,
son?
yeah, my son was 8.
And how old was his cousin?
He was probably like 23, 22.
Okay.
So he was trying to hang out with him on the couch, and he was like, "No, your mom be back real quick. You got to go in the back room, so or go back to bed." So he's like, instead of going back to bed, he originally had to use the restroom. You know, he trying to be nosy, wanted to see what's popping. Then he went to the room, and while he was in the restroom, he
You break.
heard
Hold
other
on.
stuff
You
like
breaking
that.
up real quick.
So now,
You breaking up.
let me
So
move
why?
around then.
Okay.
All right, yeah. It might be hard to
Man,
see me for a second.
this story is
Okay. Take your time so we can get back.
yeah, this story is wild, man.
Okay. You
Oh, my bad. But
because we can't
so
really see
Yeah,
you.
just see if you can get some light so we can see you. All right, there you go.
all right, so my son peeked through the bedroom or the bathroom door, and he saw the guy pistol whipping someone. I guess it was his cousin. So he said he closed the door, went back in the bathroom, and hid under the sink where the bathroom supplies are at. And
Yeah,
after that, he said he poked back out and he saw a bunch of white droppings falling on his head, and he was hearing a bunch of boom, 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 boom. So the shots was going over his head because he don't understand the white shavings on his head. That's from the bullet holes going
yeah.
through the wall, falling on his head.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, after that, he said, Dad, I did what you said. I ran into the back room. I got my sisters on the floor, put them under the bed, and was like, shh, be quiet, don't say nothing. And so when the guy walked to the house asking if people were okay, they didn't say nothing. His mom didn't say nothing, and the guy left. And after that, he said he waited for a while. He
Hold
got
on.
up.
So you saying that the shooter walked through the house saying, "Is y'all okay?"
Yeah.
I
There's
guess
court.
trying to get somebody to see if who was still in there.
Yeah, because there's court documents about kind of what she told about the situation. So the guy was trying to do like a bot. He was trying to rob them because supposedly he heard the people, her on and off boyfriend that he rode up there with, because he came from Indiana. He lived in Indiana. They went to over to Missouri. They went from Missouri to Nebraska. So it was hitting different states, making moves or whatever. But so he told his mom on a phone recording that he was trying to rob them. But when he talked to investigators, told his side of the story, he was saying that he heard King and or my fault, oops, my bad. He heard some people say that they were gonna try to set him up once he got there. So he was already paranoid. So when he was asking to use the car to leave real quick and they told him no, that's when he just reached for it and just started, pistol whipping the dude and killed the dude on the couch, and then he ran into the room after my son's mom and the boyfriend, because they hid in the closet, and the closet was lined up with the bedroom. So like when he was shooting at them in the closet, the kids, it goes the main bedroom, the bathroom, then the kids' bedroom. So they're all lined up. So the bullets that hit the guy, he died, and that probably would have hit my son because he was like probably right behind the wall, and then the one that hit his mom could have hit him or the sisters in them that was in the back room.
So where did she get hit at on her body?
I think it was the right ankle, like right above her
Man,
ankle,
that's
close to the
tough,
Cause
Achilles.
she
bro.
had to be hospitalized, right?
Yeah, she went to like the CU, so she was in emergency treatment care,
And
and
what about her boyfriend?
he was gone. He took all the hits for her pretty much. He took like 7 hits because
Whoa.
he shot like 21 times with a 40 cal.
So the dude that she was dating was unalived,
Yeah, he was unalive, and then
and her cousin was
on the
unalived.
couch. Yeah, in the front room on the couch.
And so your son witnessed this stuff.
Well, he just witnessed a pistol whipping, and as soon as he seen that, he said he shut the door because he said I saw the white dude with the glasses. He was whipping my cousin. He said I shut the door and went right under the sink, and then he said he didn't hear nothing, and he was trying to come out, and he heard pop, 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 and he said, Dad, and all of a sudden a bunch of white stuff fell on my head, and he just kind of froze, and then he waited for a little bit, and he got the bathroom, ran to the back room, told all his siblings to get on the floor, get under the bed, and was like, be quiet.
Do
Because
you
I've always
think?
trained him to do that. I was like, if something happens, because I knew something could happen when he's out my care because I'm military. So I might train my kids differently than most parents, but it's just what I've experienced and how some people might think on this earth. So I'll go through certain drills with him, and I was proud of him for doing that because the
Yeah,
guy
he
did walk
saved their
through.
life.
Yeah, because the dude did walk through and ask, "Is anyone okay?" My son heard it. He said, "No, I didn't say nothing." He even said he did it. He said he did it because he wanted to see if anyone was alive, and whoever said something, he was going to unalive him.
He said that
Yeah, he was pretty
even
honest.
if they were children.
Yeah,
I mean, he
man.
didn't care. He just said
He
he didn't
didn't
say if they
care.
were children, but he just said if anyone said something, he was going to unalive them. So he went to court. He went to court. And he got a death sentence, or I think a life sentence, a life death sentence.
So hold on.
And
So
just based off of this, she didn't lose custody.
Well, in this situation, when I had my son with me and she was in the hospital, I tried to go up there to see her because I didn't know really what would happen at the time for sure. I heard my son's side of the story. I waited. It wasn't until the article came out and I seen the description and matched up. I'm like, dang, like you was dead on. So before then, we reached out to her, tried to see her. We couldn't because she was at the hospital. Suspect wasn't caught. I wasn't married. I'm not cousin, so I couldn't go in
yeah.
there. So we called her. She didn't answer. Then she finally reached out to me. And then when she did, I was hooping with my brother. So I went to the side and I was like, hey, just talk to your mom right away. Let her know you're good because she needs to hear your voice before mine first. And then plus I was shooting some shots. He gets on the phone and she's just cussing at him. And he's like, Dad, she ain't saying nothing to me. She just keep cussing. I said, well, just tell her it's you real quick. And she said his name, and then that's when she just cussed him out again and was like, put your dad on that phone. And I was like, whoa, you tripping. I was like, calm down, bro. What are you tripping about? She's like, it's
That's
child support. It's child support. You wanted him to get off of child support. And I'm like, no, I got him because the government was thinking about taking the kids out the house. I wanted to make sure our son was good. I'm sorry about.
Same.
Yeah,
His life was just in danger, and all she's thinking about is child support.
man, that's the first thing she went through. My mind was like, I felt bad for his sisters because when I took him, I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen to them, but I can't fight for them. I ain't the
Was
daddy.
that any of their father, the boyfriend?
No,
Oh, okay.
mm-mm. Yeah, all the sibling kids are dads are alive, alive
so
and well.
so
Good.
let me ask you this. Did you ever get a paternity test? That was another
No,
question.
he's my bro, if y'all saw my son, if you watch my videos, he's my twin. Like but also the way we had him, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a man. Every time I've conceived a child, I felt something in my soul. So maybe it's different for me, but when it happened the first time, I felt something different because that wasn't my first time doing something like that. So when it happened and she called me and told me she was pregnant, I wasn't shocked. I stepped up immediately, was like, okay, cool. We don't get along, but for this kid, I'm gonna be different than what my father was to me. I need a better example. He needs to see me. I need to see him. So I'm not into that whole drama. And if I bond with a child, you mine until the day I die. If I give you that word, I stand by my word. And I don't care what the world say or what they think, because we all are related anyway. If you want to get super, 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 super deep with it. So I'm beyond all that.
We all who?
I'm just
Cause
saying my
I'm
brothers and
not
sisters.
related to who we got kids
Well,
with.
I'm just saying you go back
I
to
don't
the
got
original
none of
man
that.
and
That's a
woman. I feel
whole
like we
nother.
connected.
That's diabolical. And so I'm a
I just feel like we got
Christian.
some type of cousin, maybe a
Yeah.
tenth of a percent, maybe a
Yeah,
small
probably
tenth.
not with that family, because
so
that's
let,
another
so
story.
I'm
let
just
me
on
ask
spiritual stuff.
so let me ask you something. So was this
Yeah.
the same boyfriend that you had the issue with, or that did something with your son or something like that?
Like the
No,
physical abuse
N-
situation.
no, that's a different guy, and I thought that was her cousin, because when I first
Right.
met him, she was like, "Hey, I'm," because they were moving to Arizona. When he went back with his mom after the 2 years I had him to keep him safe and help him, um, they were moving from Nebraska to Arizona. And so when I walked up on her, she already know how I am. I'm gonna question you, who you with, see what's going on. Definitely after what happened. You say you changed, you went to school.
Okay, yeah. So that's what I wanted to touch on that. So after all that stuff that happened with the shooting and stuff, why did you give her another shot? I understand you said you was on a spiritual
With my
journey.
son. Well, with my son. So first off, with my life, when I feel like my mom, from my view, when I feel like my mom maybe interfered with my dad relationship, I didn't like it. And when my dad didn't be there for me, I didn't like it. So I told myself, my son ever says he wants to be with his parent, I would never interfere with that until his life is really in danger, which it was. But years went by, and he was like, I want to see my mom. and he's older, and I feel like he comprehends the situation. We healed him. He's been improving, and I know he's mad at me right now for the standards, but I do want him to see his mom. I don't want he needs to, because she has flaws as a woman that she needs to correct to help him correct his own future flaws that he might run into or his habits. So he asked for it. I waited 24 hours, asked him again. He said, I want to go. I said, cool. I'll reach out to your mom. We talked for a while before I did it. And then I brung him right away. And we linked up. She came to a birthday party, hung out with us at the park. I got to just talk to her one-on-one. She was showing me she was going to school. I was seeing change, like seeing stuff I never saw before. So I'm like, what? Who am I to hold this over her head forever? It could have been she was stupid for the moment, but she could have changed. I've done stupid stuff too when I was young, and I didn't get caught for it. And I'm blessed I didn't get caught for some of the dumb things I did. Because if I did, I probably would never be forgiven by this world. And it could be something petty, but it's
Yeah.
small. So that's why I'm just like, let me
You
do
was
it.
just trying to give her but did that have to mean custody? You know what I'm saying? You could have just let him visit her, but if correct me if I'm wrong, but you said you gave him back to her for her to have custody, right?
And
No,
y'all
not to
did.
have custody. We were still in the streets because she knew she couldn't really take me to court to get full custody against me because I've never done nothing crazy in my life to lose my son.
Right.
She got stuff on her end. If I could have buried her because I had people in my community from her behavior. I've got involved in my community, and I got people who can back me up. So I've seen situations when courts get involved. If you want them out, they don't go away. They stay in, and then if they don't agree with anybody, they put their hammer down. Their hammer is final law. And so that's why I was like, you know what, we should come together. So we come to agreement. We don't got to really work with
Go
somebody.
through the courts. Yeah.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
just
you did touch on that. Just and I mean, I can respect that. I mean,
it's just from my trauma
everybody.
though.
We
This
just on the outside looking in, man,
yeah,
and that was a crazy
A lot of parents have that fear
situation.
though, where they feel if I'm not doing right and you're not doing right, and we keep fighting, the courts may put our kids in the system.
yeah,
That can't happen, right? And so,
yeah.
who are we to judge people that
Think,
decide to go another route because you just don't want that to happen? I mean, that's fair.
Because
man,
because
that's
because my one of my first girlfriends grew up in the group home, so I saw the dynamics of the government with her, and she wanted to go back. I used to hang out with her mom. She was changing, and they never forgave her until she was grown. She never got to live with her mom until she was 18. I was like, that's kind of tough if you get your act together and the government just doesn't care.
so. What happened with your son? Like, how did he get over that situation?
Well, he was scared of the dark for a while. He didn't want. He couldn't be around without me. So like, if I was trying to take him to school, he didn't like it. So I had to put him in private school and volunteer after school, just so he knew I was there. So I volunteered, like helping with the kids and little infants, and then they had me help with gym and recess. So he'll come out for recess, and I'll be running. I was like a chaperone almost in a sense at this private school, which was dope. So I did that for a while. We worked out. We talked about life. I showed them Black history, Black culture. Talked to him about being the man. Just a lot of different stuff like that. And over time, he just got stronger, more confident. We rapped. We just did a lot of
Yeah.
cool stuff to work on, like his flaws. And once he seen a change in himself, he was loving it. We was teaching him how to draw. Figured out what he wanted to be, an architecture or architect, and we started showing like what schools you got to go to for it, how much they pay, the medium income, where's the good states to move to. We just talked about life, and I think his
Okay,
mind got over that dark experience, and he started seeing the future was bright versus the past was dark for a moment.
man. Well, we appreciate you, man, for sharing that. Because, man, when we went back and we heard that, we was like, man, like we never touched on that.
And
Yeah,
your story is very, very inspiring, right? Um, on so many levels, but just a lot of things. And like my husband said, people on the outside looking in don't really understand the layers and the
yeah,
levels to it. And it's been a 15-year long
yes,
battle for you. It's been a lot, right? And
yes,
so for a kid to experience that, I think that we was just like, okay, we gotta take it back just so we can cover that because we don't hear that every day.
Uh,
yes,
Like That's not
That's a lot.
what we hear. And that just makes the story even more compelling because he was in that situation and you did decide to give his mom another chance to do right by him and all that. And so I think overall it's inspiring for people that may want to do the same. So
Well, once again, I wouldn't tell people to do the same just because you're
I
gambling.
know, I know.
You're gambling. You're gambling because I tried it, and
It
my son
didn't.
did get he got abused. And the reason why we dropped the video, we kind of dropped the video and told the story because my son been wanting to see me for a while, and we was at the agreement part. 2 years, I get him back. We go 1 year off, 1 year on. She was supposed to come to Dallas, move closer because I'm here. Because she was like, you know what? Let him stay with me. I agree with it. He'll help you move. But if she kept extending it, it went from she was putting her eviction notice, whatever, in 30 days to 6 months somehow. Then it went to a year. And I'm like, you playing with me. But my son wasn't speaking up because she was trying to say you're brainwashing him. She's already hit me with that line. So I'm like, son, speak up, say something. But my son now is so scared of her, and I couldn't understand why was he so scared to ask her? Because it would take him months to ask to come to see me. So I'm like, you ask her, and I'm already asking her. She keeps saying you're brainwashing him to do that. I'm going to wait for him to come see me, or I'm going to wait for our son to ask me to come see you. You keep asking because I think you're trying to do something with him, brainwash him. That's just her story. Then I come to find out she abusing him, telling him different stories about me, and then she talking certain ways about me to him. So she's playing both of us. And if
But
I
if it was all good and y'all was cool and in a good space, how did it get to that? Because you want
because it
him
was
back?
it,
Because I don't understand what was her
because
motive.
because
Like,
because she was doing trucking because I got her into trucking, and I told her, but you gotta do local. On the road doesn't work if you got a bunch of kids, you got a man, or you got a family care plan set up. You can't do that solo. So she tried to do it solo, and she was making him watch the kids, and so that's why it was such a pull to not let him go. Because if you take him
Yeah.
away, you got to pay for childcare for four other girls, and that's gonna be killing you every week.
So can you answer like that video that you showed when y'all was in the gym?
Yes.
What took place in that situation? Was that before or after you got custody?
Oh, I never had custody. It was just,
I
whoever.
mean, before
Yeah.
you got him
that was
after the
after the
shoot.
shooting, right?
I mean, that was after the shooter. I just came back up from Texas. I was living in Texas for a while. I ended up getting married, coming back, and then I was trying to slowly work him back and seeing his mom maybe if she changed because she was always messaging me, and I wouldn't respond, but I would read her messages and just see the growth over time. It was like, okay, cool. Okay, cool. Let me hit you up. Let me see if you acknowledge some of your wrongs a little bit, whatever. So, when I ended up coming back, we ended up going to an event because we used to not go out a lot. We was always working, grinding, doing stuff. So finally, I was like, we always go to church, go to work, school, parks. Let's go out. So we went to an event that one of my friends from church, family members, was hosting. So I come in there, we hang out. I guess it was the ex that I dated back in high school was there, and she knew I had drama with my BM. So she reached out to her and told her where I was at. So she pulled up with her some stud chick who believed she was my son's dad somehow, which was weird. She's like, I'll be raising your son more than you do, which is weird. But anyway,
Was
and then
it the baby mama girlfriend?
I don't know. I'll be asking my son like, who is that woman to your mom? He'd be like, I don't know. She's just been around. I was like, well, she
What?
she acts
That's
like
his
she's your dad.
auntie.
I was
That's
like,
his
she acts like
auntie. That's what they call it, the auntie.
yeah,
But
yeah. She's like the auntie, and I'm like, what is she? She's like, I don't know. She be there, but she's just there.
and
And
she
so
said she raising him.
yeah, I think she was just trying to throw salt in my wound, get me mad, agitated.
Yeah.
And I just looked at her. I was like, there's no way, you're not even a man, so you can't be a father off top. But anyway, um, and her brother came there, which I was cool with her brother because he hooped. So he just came along just to make sure nothing went down, probably because she was running her mouth saying I might put my hands on her. I don't know. But when she pulled up, my son grabbed me because he seen her face and her attention because she was like, come here, come down here now. And he just grabbed me. And so when she walked up, I was like, hey, I told my baby, I said, if she hits me or do something crazy, you better record this because I'm not about to be running through this place looking guilty when I ain't done nothing wrong. And she's just popping up acting aggressive. So my wife started filming it. And then next thing you know, she just started trying to rip my son away from me. He was pulling back. He was saying no. She kept saying, let's go see your sister. I'll take you over your uncle's house. Trying to bribe him. And he just
Yeah.
wasn't trying to go. And then that's when they're trying to gang up on me. And she's like, look, he's touching me. He put his hand on my arm. I was like, girl, I'm not touching you. Stop playing. I said, I'm not touching you. And I was like, just get up on my face and back up off him, let him go. And so that's when she just started even going crazier, crazier. Then her brother got tired of it because he was like, bro, your son don't want to go. And she's like, I don't care. So he
Boy.
grabbed her. He wrapped her up and swooped her, and she started fighting with him. So we went down the stairs. She started running.
Oh, so that's who I seen. I thought that was you.
No, that was her brother. And me and him cool, because he can't stand his sister. So me and him cool on the low, because we hoop. So he always talk about family problems. And when we hoop, he like, man, my sister irritating, da 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 da.
So what's the issue? Like, is and I know we probably touched on this on the first interview, but this is just for the people who are watching now that probably didn't see it. What do you think her big issue is with you? I know the child support was a
Marriage,
huge.
we did. We
You
was
you
supposed,
you got you got married to somebody else.
yeah, and she was supposed, because first off, I was supposed to never have another kid. Like her ground rules, I'm supposed to never have another kid, and if I do, it can't be
What
a
you mean
boy.
her ground rules? Who she make those rules for?
I'm telling you, that's what she told me. She straight up told me to my face.
But she had kids.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
was you gonna not? But you already had another kid
For
after
for
your son,
for the
the one
moment,
that's not with your wife.
well, for the moment, no. This is when I first came back. When I first saw my son and I was getting his life, she laid down ground rules to where
Ah, okay.
I couldn't
Before
have a
you had
woman.
another kid.
Yeah, she said I couldn't have a
Man.
woman and I couldn't have no kids. If I did, it couldn't be no boy. And I had
Or
a,
what? You couldn't see your son?
yeah, that's what, yeah. So I didn't do it for a
So
while.
you can have another child. You couldn't he couldn't be a boy like your son, or else you couldn't see your son.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah,
first.
man. Hey man, that's
I just
wild.
came from
I just
sleep.
can't believe that's I'm sad to hear that your son even have to go through something like that, man.
And
That
these kids have these trauma bonds, and it's like we get it because it's their parent. You know, they
yeah,
love their other parent. They want to be a part of their life and all that. But it's like you sitting over here knowing that this parent just don't really care about this kid. The kid is for personal gain.
man.
This is why they had
Yeah,
this kid for their own personal gain, right? And it's so sad for the kids. And so this is why we go so hard. You one of many dads but to a whole nother level, because we probably don't know their story in depth like you gave it to us. And we want to give you kudos for that, just being so transparent and just
yeah.
laying it all out there. A lot of times we interview guys and they want to
Want to
keep
hold back
this
and
and
yeah.
don't say
Well,
that.
my son came up here. I think he got mad when I was teaching him how to drive. She called me and was like, because I came up and actually snatched my son again because she didn't want to follow the agreement one more time. We worked something out, and her brother was supposed to be getting married. So I was like, you know what, my son didn't actually see a proper wedding for me, So let him stay there a little longer to see a wedding. They had the wedding. He had my son in the wedding, but he didn't teach him nothing about the wedding. I told my son, if you're gonna be the best man, he need to talk to you about some stuff. They just had him in there as a prop. So I asked my son,
Oh
like,
my
what did you
God.
learn? He said, I went to a wedding, stood up there, they got married, cried, they had cake dance, that's it. And I was like, that's lame to me. But personally, I was like, okay, cool. Hey, you said you was gonna fly him out. I had a plane ticket ready for him. You didn't want to do it when I said. So send him. She laughed at me and was like, nah, you broke. You don't got the money to come get him, something, and hung up on me. So I chilled, hit up my son, was like, you still trying to have me come get you, right? Because you about to run away. He said, yeah. Boy, I got in the car and drove up there right away. Told him I was outside at his school. He hopped in the car, was like, hold on, let me get myself so I can bounce, because he was done. Because he was failing school. He couldn't really work out the way he wanted to. She was making him watch the kids all the time while she was on the road, still making money. And she wasn't trying to move to Dallas when she said she was. So he got tired of it. And so he wanted me
So
to drop the video. When he got up here and I showed him some stuff to prove certain things, he said, man, let's make a video because he wants to be in YouTube. So he was pushing me to do it. I fought it for about 4 months. And then finally I just
which video? The one
the
we
video
just
of the
talked about?
NPR, yeah, that one. He was
but
like, drop it.
what about the future? Like, do you think that he's really, really made the decision to who she is to him, or do you think it's still
The
gonna be
door's
a
the door's still
time?
the door's still open just because the way I have raised him, in a way, I know he's leaving the door open, which is fine. But
Yeah.
he knows he's standing on 10 toes because he doesn't want to go back and he wants her to respect him. And he's trying to use this moment to get her to come clean.
So
But she,
did you ever teach them about boundaries?
Boundaries, yeah.
like in what way? Like in what situation you talking about?
Like it's okay to love someone, no matter who it is, but
Oh yes,
you
yes.
can't
Keep
let
them
it
at a distance. Yeah.
affect you in the process.
Oh
Cause the
yeah.
whole point of him wanting her to be come clean, right?
Yeah.
He may never get that. Does he understand that part? Because I think
I
that
don't
that's
think he gets that. I don't. I've explained it.
at 15,
I've ex-
maybe more so than a smaller child. But I think
yeah.
that even some grown-ups can't accept people for who they are. So that may be a struggle for him if he doesn't understand that you just may never get the truth. She may
Yeah.
never come clean
Yeah.
about this version of herself because she don't want to face that person. She don't want to face that person in the music and in the mirror.
What
So
what
it's
what
like
the video has helped him more because when the video's been up and he shared about the abuse too, people have been saying like your mom was wrong, this wasn't right, this wasn't this, and it's making him feel more, like okay, cool,
validated.
yeah,
It's
validated.
another video about abuse.
Yeah, yeah, because my son wanted to talk about it because he came to me after the video aired and people reacted to it. He was reading y'all comments. He was reading people comments for days, just reading it. And then eventually he's like, Dad, I want to tell you everything. And he just came and he started telling me about the abuse. The cousin was actually the boyfriend. It was just so much stuff
Yeah, we were
that,
just talking about that. We just touched on that before you came up. I was just telling fathers this is why it's important for them to fight because you don't
yeah.
know what your kids are going through.
I mean,
I
did
was
he
crying
still?
when he told me. I cried as soon as he started telling me that he went right to the abuse. He said my mom and her boyfriend both at the same time was beating on me. I just dropped. It was like, bro, like, and he was crying. We were in front of people. We was crying. I was like, we got to at least get in the car, get away from people because I was punching
Bro,
stop
Brother,
signs. I was hurt.
if don't nobody know, we know.
Yeah,
We know. And so that's why I wanted to ask you, because I know if you had a chance to do some things over again, would you
I
get a
would have
court
went to
order?
court. I would have
Okay.
just took on the court pressure because I look back, I didn't do nothing wrong, but I was so just what we've been through in the culture, my mind was warped, and I was just like, I won't succeed in that realm. I won't
Yeah.
succeed. I try to go in there. I'm already seeing the signs. Don't go all the way in. Stay halfway out, and that's what I did. But now I will go from day one, and she would probably never saw my son until we had visitation set up, and I have to be there because when she dropped the baby, I should have never even trusted a woman to do someone to do that. I mean, I gave her chances, but she's never changed from who the person I thought she was in the back seat.
Yeah.
so what was the toughest part to deal with co-parenting that way when you constantly got to giving chance after chance after chance when you know that this person is damaging your child upbringing.
Well, it just the biggest thing was the time you put into the child to enhance them to get ahead. When you get back with them, you be like, they did nothing. Like they just bought you clothes. They didn't think about your mind, your heart, and your soul. No character build. You were just a person that was there to be like, hey, I have a kid with a nice haircut, nice shoes. This is my choice to look at me. I'm the best mom. That's all you wanted. And now this kid is suffering, and they're gonna hate both of us if we don't help them figure it out. Because once they're 18, no one's gonna care about the story. They're gonna be like, "Oh, you weak, you soft, get over it. You should have knew better." And they might have been screwed from jump by both parents.
That's so true.
It
And
is.
then when we asked you who's the deadbeat, what you say?
Both of us.
And that's rare. I
But
don't
it's
know
the
how
truth though.
often.
It's stupid to lie
Exactly.
about it. It's stupid to lie.
That's why your story resonates in a different way. Because the accountability is there. And people come to us all the time and they have that one-sided story. And yes, it may be some flaws and this person may be a bad parent, but somewhere you could have did something better.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if you haven't, and if you can't acknowledge that, it's a red flag, right? And so the people that come to us, sometimes they are part of the problem.
Oh
And
no,
this
they
is
are.
why I wanted to
Dude.
ask you that again, because if you are really truly fighting for your child, you cannot be part of the conflict. You cannot be causing conflict. You cannot be the person that's the chaotic one responding in a way that's not beneficial to your case, your child, your nothing, but you want us to listen to you. No. You can't be trying to change the order or don't do certain things to your own benefit. And then when the person don't respond, she bitter, she this, she that. But really you part of the problem. And I think a lot
Yeah,
of men don't
facts.
get that. They just think that because this platform is here, they have the space because we support this, right? But you got to be doing the right thing. And if you're
Right.
not, you are a deadbeat. You part
Facts.
of the problem.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to highlight that because that really sat with us a certain way because not yet have we had another male say that they was a part of the problem.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
gonna just say, doing that with my son, he trusts me more than he's ever had. Because when he got up here, I thought he told me everything. So it wasn't until I fought for him. I backed up. I validated what he saw, what he felt. Once I cover all the little bases with him, he comes down. I want to tell you everything. He telling me about little stuff, big stuff, everything. I did this, I did that. He telling me he stole something before. I'm like, you're trusting me to another degree. And if I was to cap and lie just for public opinion, then I will lose you in the process, and it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we
Yeah.
appreciate you, man.
Thank you so much
No, I
for coming up
appreciate y'all,
again.
bro. Y'all about to be
Yeah.
on another level because there's so much broken homes in
We'll
this in
take
this
it.
country. Bro, y'all about to be famous. So anybody you watching this, come out here, get on the videos, because like they
Man,
said,
we just trying to
We
raise
trying to do it
awareness.
for the people, and
yeah.
we not gonna stop. This is our purpose. Is our lives. If anybody know and been through it, they understand it, and so that's what this about. So thank you for rocking with us to support.
And to clear up that
Your comments be on point. Anytime we may need to bring you up, just be ready to click
Oh,
click
that's
yeah.
the
fine. But
button
hey,
because
protect yourselves, okay? Because y'all are gonna be a target for the good and the bad.
absolutely,
Protect yourselves.
absolutely.
Well, we already been taking some shots. We in a couple of court cases already, but
Already. So
so man, but we appreciate you,
thank
man.
you.
We just needed that part cleared up, man. We mad that we ain't get a chance to touch on it because it was just so much,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but that was. I'm glad you got your son now, man, and y'all
And he
gonna make
gonna
it
be
work.
great.
Yeah.
I see we see how you pouring into him. It's a beautiful thing. Send us that footage, that content, because we want to highlight how you worked him up and built him up to get even better after all the trauma and everything he's been through. So, like I said before, keep us posted. We want to be on
Yeah.
the journey with y'all, and that's what this is all about.
And when he turned 18, we'll bring him up here, man.
Bad because
Yeah,
he wanted to get on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tell him he gonna be our very first
All right, bad.
kid turned adult that's in this process now as a kid that we gonna talk to.
All right, we
So we
gonna
gonna be
stamp
ready
it.
when he turn
All right.
18.
Appreciate it.
Okay.
So,
Thank
all
you.
right, have a good one, man.
Peace.
All right, y'all too. Much love. Peace.